Hello everyone, welcome to BISP Solutions. So we have begin with the Oracle Fusion Accounting Hub webinars. So this is our second webinar or the second session. Um, so I welcome you all to the second session. And today we will be seeing in detail about the how we set up the source system. The yesterday's session was about the basic introduction. So let us hover to our PPT for better understanding, to understand what is the today's agenda and to begin with our sessions. So, so our today's agenda will be to understand the prerequisites before we set up our core configurations. So the prerequisites will be uh, the offerings to be enabled in the application. And then to our user, we provide some job roles. And after the job roles are provided, we'll download the rapid implementation template through which we will be bringing the source system, or we will be putting the details of the source system, the transaction and line information sources. And then we will, once our sheet or the template is designed, we will upload the same to our instance. And after that, we'll verify all the all the configurations that are done through this sheet. So we will see our configured subledger application, the event class and the event types created, the transaction objects, tables, and sources that are created. Once our subledger application is configured, we will be moving to the accounting transformation setups, which will be covered in our next sessions. So this was an overview of what we will be doing today. So beginning with our session for today. So we will enable the offerings for FAH. Uh, what are the offerings? The offerings are application solution sets representing one or more business processes and activities that you typically provision or implement as a unit. They are therefore the primary drivers of the functional setup of the Oracle Fusion applications. If I take few examples of the offerings, they can be financials, procurement, sales, marketing, order orchestration, and the workforce deployment. When we have the offerings enabled, it can have one or more features or choices that we can take. So to configure an offering for implementation, you opt into its functional areas and features that are applicable to your business operations. You start your opt-in configuration by enabling the offering. The offering and its functional areas are shown in hierarchy to help you decide step by step what to opt into. When an offering is enabled, all functional areas or and features representing core functionality of the offering are also automatically enabled. So means if you have enabled any functional area, other the offerings under that are automatically enabled. So you have to decide which of the optional functional areas and feature to opt into. by specifically enabling them. After the initial implementation of the offering, if you must change the opt-in configuration to enable additional functional areas or features at a later time. Use the same procedure to enable them as well. You can also use the procedure for reviewing and opting in to new features that are introduced for your enabled offerings in each update of Fusion applications. In some cases, opt-in selection of a functional area or a feature may be logged. Once enabled due to the business operation, it represents and its selection can't be changed. So this was all about the offerings. Let's move into the instance to see how the offerings are enabled. So this is our instance. So I have just logged into my user, and if you see, this is my home page. We'll be beginning from scratch. So I have just logged into the user. When you will log in, you will see this screen. So this is the home screen. Okay, and based on the roles and access provided, all these tabs have the information. So moving to the setup and maintenance from the setting and action tab. So this is the setup area. We can also have create the implementation projects, and through that we can manage the things. But if you see, this is the main setup and maintenance area. Here you can select your offering by selecting your module first. So this is Fusion Accounting Hub. You can have financials or compensation management and others likewise. So this is Fusion Accounting Hub. So this is the whole functional area. If you go to this change feature opt-in, you will see the opt-in features. So I told you that this is hierarchical. So if you will just open this, you will see all the offerings here, and then you have to enable these offerings. So to see the features, you can click on this pencil icon or the edit icon, and then you can see some of the offerings are like first one is not enabled and rest are enabled. Again, these are in hierarchy. Okay, if I just go columns show all, it will show you all the columns in here. And see, if you want to see what is this feature about, you can always click on this help icon. So this says flexible configuration of accounting hub cloud service end-to-end flow, which means this enables user to import accounting transactions from interface and create accounting as separate process after loading accounting transactions into accounting hub. Now, if you just expand this, you can see this is transaction reversal in accounting hub. So if you see the help, it will tell you about the functionality. So this is reverse the accounting for a transaction by importing a new transaction record to accounting hub. So this is the feature which will be enabled if you click on enable. So we'll just click on the enable. Now if you click on enable here, this one will be activated. Now you click enable here, and then these features will be enabled. If you want to see the setups involved, it will again take you to your previous page or the setup area page. These are the setup area page. So I'll just enable it and then click on done. Let me see if it is enabled now. Mm, yeah, this is now done. Click on done, move out. You can see the general ledger features from here. See, these are the features in the general ledger area. We can just enable them from here if we want to. So this is about the offerings. Now if I come to the setups, if you can see this is the list of setups here which provide you an idea how to step by step proceed. So means if you have to first create the whole system, then you have to first set up the enterprise. And if you see, I have told you this in the yesterday's session, these are the shared offering. So these all applications are sharing it: the procurement, product management, workforce deployment, order management, financials. So all these areas are sharing these setups. So that means if for financials you have already configured that, you need not to set up it again, because those setup will be used by the Fusion Accounting Hub also, because these are the shared features. So these are have to be configured just once. So then you have to create the legal entity, the legal address and all, then the general ledger, the primary ledger, then specify the ledger options and all. If you click here, you will see all the required tasks under that setup will be available here. So one thing we have to notice, like if I am configuring the above one, so these have to be done first and then the lower one. So these are in a hierarchical manner. Means if you have to open the first period, then you will have to mandatorily follow the first step, the primary ledger, then specify ledger options, and far so forth. And if you want to see all the tasks relating to any of the setup, then you click on all tasks, and these will be the all tasks available under that. Hope you have got an idea of what all features, tasks, and how the navigation works. You can simply search the task from here. See, if I come to the accounting transformation, and if I have to search something like manage, just a second, manage um, user user defined formula is visible. So I'll search manage journal entry rule set, and then click on search icon, or just press the sorry, just a second, I'll just remove this. So you can see here the task manage subledger general entry rule sets is coming, and then two of the task have the same details, so both of them are appearing. Now you can select the one which you need to go into, and then you just have to uh, click on it again, and then you will be landing to that setup page. So one way of searching thing is this, and the other one is in the task list. You can just go on the search. So this is the global search. If you have to search for any of the setups, like for financials also, you can search from here, from for Fusion Accounting Hub, no matter what offering has been selected over here in the setup. But when you are searching it from here, then you have to select the setup first, and based on that setup only you can search the tasks here. So this was the basic idea of this page. Moving further, we'll see the job roles. So the job role assignment. So we assign the predefined roles and privileges as is to users. This may impact the subscription usage even if you haven't purchased the subscription. Privileges that are assigned but remain unused can still account for subscription consumption. Before you assign predefined role with privileges, evaluate the business needs of your user. Do your user need the entire role and all its privileges in full scope? So first question we need to know is that do my user need the entire roles and all the privileges, or do they need the role but only a few of its privileges? So we need to carefully evaluate what our user need. This will help you to avoid potential security risk and also keep a check on the subscription consumption. If you want users to have the predefined role in full scope and have purchased all the impacted cloud services, you can assign the role with privileges as is. So this is based on your subscription which you have taken from the Oracle. For example, only when setting up an application, you may need to assign the predefined application implementation consultant role. So if there is a user who is an implementation user, so you will when you have to do all those setups, you must have the application implementation consultant role. If you don't have that role, you will not be able to see the setup and maintenance area which we were seeing. So once the setup is completed, you can unassign that. You need not need it once you have assigned the you have done all these setups. You can just go from the manage implementation projects. Then you no need to have the setup and maintenance. I'll take you to the screen just once. See, as this user is having the application implementation role, he can go to the setup and maintenance area. And for the other users who are not the implementation users, based on their access and role, they will have all these areas like receivables, payables, projects. So through this, they can navigate, or through the home page, which I have recently told you that in the home page also, based on our roles and access, mm, the the tabs are available. See, if I have the product management role and the access, I can see these in that. So like if I have the general accountant and the general accounting manager, or those type of role, I can see this general accounting over here. So based on your roles, these will be added to your profile, and based on that you can navigate to those areas. So for having this setup and maintenance here, we must have the application implementation consultant role. So we called him as the implementation user. So once we have completed all the all the setups, we can just unassign this role to avoid the subscription consumption. So otherwise, Oracle recommends that you make a copy of a predefined role, remove the privileges you don't need, and assign only the required privileges. We use the define accounting transformation configuration task in the setup and maintenance work area to integrate our external source system with the accounting hub. So to register our external source system and configure the accounting rule, the setup user must be provisioned with a role that includes the following duty roles: the application implementation consultant, and the accounting hub integration. So if you see here the FAS combo user, this role has the accounting hub integration duty role. We'll check in the system also. In the security reference implementation, the financial application administrator job role hierarchy includes the accounting hub Administration duty role. So this must also be provided to our user. This role provides the access to integrate your external source system with the accounting transformation. And so the common roles the user must have are the general accountant and the general accounting manager, as these roles have the privileges to create and manage the journals, general ledger reporting, and business intelligence privileges for the reporting purpose. So these two roles will be needed for creation and managing journals, preparing the reports, and having the access to the OTBI or the reporting section. So this is an important role, the FAS combo user, which provides you the privilege for the accounting hub integration. This is the duty role to secure additional privileges associated with the FAH on cloud. Now we will go into the instance and check for this role, and then we'll see in the hierarchy if this mentioned privilege is there or not. Always when you provide the roles, just remember to run the LDAP process if it is not automated. So we'll go to the instance now. Mm, yeah, this is the instance. We'll go to the navigator, and then tools. So this is the tools. We'll go to the security console. This, if you have the IT security manager role, then only you will be able to see this security console in your navigator tool section. If you want to see the user first, I'll come to the user first. My user is Casey.Brown. You can always edit and provide the role from here. Add role. From here you can provide the role. So if I search for the general accountant role, so the one with preceding with having the code as ORA. So this is not the proper role. This is the copy of the role. Just let me. Yeah, this is the one. Oh my God, why it is not coming? My user already has that role. If our user already has a role, this add role membership is not um available. This will be faded then. Okay, I'll just click on add role membership then. And now if I search, see this one. The other roles are coming up. Okay, let me search for general accounting manager. All these are the copy roles. If I click on add role membership and then search for this role, nothing will come up and this will be faded. So this is what I was telling. So already my user has various roles. See the general accountant and the general accounting manager. Both roles are already there. Two I have provided, which are the copy roles. So these are the roles, and the other one was um, accounting hub. financial. mm, fin- See the financial application administrator. So this is already there. So with this role, the user has the privileges of accounting hub administration. So we'll just click on cancel over here as we don't want to provide any copy role. Click on done. Now, if I come to roles here and search the FAS combo user, I'll just refresh this page. Let's wait for a few seconds. I'll relog in if this doesn't works. Sometimes the application take too much time to load. Mm, Yeah. Okay. Let me just try relogging this. Maybe then it will work. So after this, we will be downloading the rapid implementation sheet or the template. So yes, now the application is working, I guess. It was some logging issue. So we'll again go to the security console from here, the tools, then security console. Then in the role, I have to search our FAS combo user role. Okay. We'll come to this portion again. Let me just move to our third prerequisite, which is downloading the rapid implementation template. God, every time I come to this screen, the application stucks. Mm, okay, if it is working in the another tab, where are my credentials? I'll use the other link. So this is Casey Brown and the password is. Okay, here it comes. So this is FAS combo user. We are again in the same link which was not working. I'll go to the down arrow and then I will click. This is the action arrow. I will just select the edit role option from here. This is working very slow today. Hmm, if this works. So tools, security console. Hmm, So if I search the FAS combo user, till this works, let's move to our PPT once again. I'll provide the role and then we will move forward. Before that, we will understand the third prerequisite, which was downloading the rapid implementation template. So before downloading the template, From the instance, let us first understand the pictorial representation of this. So I'll just expand this. So before downloading the rapid implementation template, I have told you to analyze the source system thoroughly to understand the transactions it generates. So a source system that generates the transactions as a part of business processes has a potential financial impact requiring creation of accounting entries. For financials, we need to have the accounting entries within our transaction. So, as a key step to create the accounting entries, these transactions must be distinctly identified as different transaction types. For example, if in a retail loan system, loan origination, loan interest approval, loan schedule payments, these are few of the transaction types. So within the loan origination, there can be general entries or the accounting entries. Then within the interest approval, there can be other general entries. So this way, all the general entries which have a financial impact that we need to understand. We need to have thoroughly investigated up our source system to understand the general entries, the transaction types, and the events associated with that system. Once once we have analyzed the transactions, we need to analyze the reporting, auditing, and the reconciliation requirement for that source system's transaction types. Then we need to register our source system to the Oracle system through the spreadsheet. Then we will define the accounting rules and methods. So the first diagram or the image says that we need to have a clear information about the transactions. We will use this information from the transaction in our spreadsheet, which will be uploaded or added in the Excel template, which has the types of the transactions, references, and the transaction details. And the transactions are uploaded through the other template, which is the CSV template, which will upload the transaction data. The first spreadsheet through which we are creating our source system will provide the transaction objects where we will verify our source system information, the accounting attributes, the source assignments, and here we will, after this, we will be configuring the accounting rule. Using these accounting rule and the data from the another template, the create accounting general entries will be created. So this is the overview of the whole process. Once the source system is analyzed, to register it, we download the spreadsheet and open that Excel spreadsheet to upload the source system. There are three worksheets in that: the source system, the transaction information, and the line information. When the spreadsheet is downloaded, we have the source metadata, transaction information, and the line information details over there. Once we have uploaded or populated the data in that spreadsheet, we validate the spreadsheet content. If there is any error, we again fill those details and then we generate the zip file. So this is all out of from here to here. The three steps are to be done outside the Fusion application, and then we upload this zip file in our Fusion application. Once we upload the zip file, the XLA setup tables are created and the system is created. We verify the source system, and after that we configure the accounting rule. So till verifying the source system, we will be looking into in our today's session. So let's see if that has worked. This, yeah, here. Now I'll click on this action icon. Yeah, edit role. So here in the role hierarchy, we need to check this ORA accounting hub, integration duty is present or not. If in the role hierarchy that is not present, we need to add it. And then we can assign this role to our user, our implementation user. As the application is working a little slow, please bear with me. Basically, this role will help you in the transaction uploading process. I'll tell you when we will come there. What is the importance of this role? Mm. When we create or copy a role, all these steps need to be followed. As this is already created role, we just have to go to the role hierarchy step and check for that role or privilege, we can say, is there or no, not. Again, moving forward, I'll come to this page again. So when we will download the template, we will get an Excel of this type. This is a sample Excel sheet which I have downloaded earlier. So it has the overview. We can use this template to register the type of transactions and create a catalog of transaction information for creating the accounting rules. We use a separate template for each source system integrated into the Oracle Hub Cloud. Like if in my legacy system, I have two or three different source systems, means I can categorize them into a different source systems if their event class is different. Like my organization has loan area and insurance area, and I want to have these two as separate source system. So we cannot create a single template for both of them. We have to have two different or separate templates for creating our source system. This template does not cover the configurations of accounting rule. Yeah, we'll configure the accounting rules separately. This sheet has nothing, has no configurations relating to accounting rules. So this is the same diagram which we have looked into, and the preparation is determine which activities from the source system require the accounting. Determine what references and transaction information is useful for accounting. Then these are the instructions we need to follow while creating the template. So this is the first tab, the source system. So in the source system tab, I have filled these details. So when it comes, it is blank sheet. So I have filled these details. So when you download it, it is blank. In the source system tab, we have a name and a short name field. It is the name of the new subledger application or the source system we are going to create. If you click on the, if you just place your cursor on this red spot which is available, you can see this short name is used to identify your source system in the Accounting Hub Cloud setup, and we have to limit this to 15 characters only. This name registers the ledger subledger application, event class, and the general sources in the Accounting Hub Cloud. So we can have the transaction type information here. So this will be called called as our source system, and the event class name. Transaction type, the list of the type of transactions from the source system that may need accounting, like creating invoices, recording, receiving or sending of payments, adjusting orders, customer balances. Uh, all these can be termed as the transaction types. Short names are used as column names for the objects in the Accounting Hub Cloud system and are limited to alphanumeric characters and underscore. The source system name is used as the subledger application and the event class. This name is used as a subledger application name and the event class name. If you click here, this helps you to understand the short name. This is the event type short name for accounting rules in journals, and we can limit this to 30 characters. We must have the name in the capital letters, no space in between. You can use the underscore for the separation. So yeah, this has come up. So what was our role? I will just search my role code here in the role hierarchy. So this is already added. If this could would not have been added, you will have to click on add role and just add this. Okay. So we are seeing two things simultaneously. Please don't get confused. So now coming to users, I'll just assign this to my user, clicking on add user. So I will select Casey dot Brown. Sorry, Casey dot Brown. This is Casey dot Brown. This is the user, add user to role. So user has been added. Just click on cancel. Now click on next. So you can see one user is added, and save and close. So as we have made changes to the user's role, I'll just run the LDAP quickly, and then we'll again come to our template till the process is run. So we'll go to schedule processes. Schedule new process. We'll just search for the LDAP job. The full name is retrieve latest LDAP changes. This synchronizes the users and their roles. Okay, click on OK. Submit. This is the process ID. Okay, just refresh it. This is the process being run. Let this run for a few minutes. I will re-log in and then proceed further. So coming back to my Excel sheet or the template. So this is the information about our transaction type. Okay, then the transaction information. So this is the transaction information. If you read this, this is a required portion. This lists the transaction information that can be used for accounting on this worksheet. These three information, transaction date, transaction number, and the ledger name, these are predefined information. Okay, this provides you the header level information sources. And three, transaction date provides the accounting date for booking the journal. Transaction number links your transaction and the line information. And your ledger name is the reported entity for which the journal entries are being booked in your general ledger. Ledger name groups transaction belonging to the same chart of accounts, business calendar, currency, and the accounting rules. So are these three are the predefined sources, and then the sheet is blank. So I have added few of them, and these sources information help us to create the accounting rule. We can define more sources as required. The name appears in the drop down list for the account rules, and the maximum length which can have is the 8 characters. If you see, there is a column of general display which indicates whether this attribute is to be shown on report and then inquire along with the general. The set of values that are present here are yes and no. In the usual interface, these are known as the user transaction identifiers. Okay, up to 10 rows can be added or can be used for having this general display there. User transaction identifiers constitute the user who gets key of the underlying subledger transaction. We'll talk about the third sheet later. Let us move to the instance and see if this has succeeded. It's still running. Through this icon, we can refresh the screen. Okay, so we can re-log in to see the changes. However, I don't need this privilege right now, so I will just focus on the template part today, and I'll show you. I'll definitely let you know what is the use of this role or the privilege that we have provided. So I'll go to the setup and maintenance. And then in the setup, I'll select the Fusion Accounting Hub. So this is our functional area for the Fusion Accounting Hub. Moving to accounting transformation, you can see here the option is create subledger application setups in spreadsheet. So when we will click on this, there will be two options, download setup template and upload setup file. So this is the same area where we will download and where we will upload. We don't have to go anywhere else to upload the setup file. We'll just click on download setup template. So here our file is being downloaded. Open, I'll click on open. This is the one which I was showing you, and this is the one which is downloaded. Okay, click on enable editing. Sometimes there can be some blocked macros. So I'll just close this. I'll go to my download area and I'll just open the properties and I will unblock here. I'll apply, click on OK. Now I will open the sheet. So as I have told you these information, then if you go to the source system information, this is all blank. Then transaction information has these three fields as default, and others you can fill. And now moving to the third sheet, which is the line information worksheet, which was left to be discussed. So lists the type of transaction information that can have more than one value per transaction, such as the order or the invoice line item amount. The mandatory fields are, or the source information are, the transaction number. This transaction number will link your header and the line information, then default amount and the default currency. So transaction number links the transaction and line information. Default amount holds the transaction amount value, which for use in accounting, and default currency holds the entered currency value for use in accounting. We can define additional sources in the sheet. So before creating our source system, let's move to our PPT once again. So this was covered. Now I am on the sheet. Let me just I'll elaborate this. Huh. So this is an overview of the accounting transformation process. If I talk about this figure, sorry, analyze, build, integration, implementation, test. This is the overview of the accounting transformation process. What we are going to do from analyzing the system till create accounting process. Let's study this. So in the analyze option, we'll analyze all analyze step, we'll analyze the events, analyze the source data requirement, we'll analyze the accounting requirements for those events. So this will give us our transaction information, the sources which is required to register our source system. Then we'll come to the build activity. In the build activity, we will be registering our source system. We will be defining our event information. We'll code calls to event capture routines. We'll define the transaction objects to store the source data. And here we'll write the programs to populate the transaction objects. Once this is done, we'll integrate our system source system program with the create accounting process or the program. And then we'll define the accounting method and perform the testing. When using the accounting transformation implementation process, we start with analyzing of our current system. We determine which source systems have transactions or activities that need to be accounted and reported via Accounting Fusion Hub or Oracle Fusion Accounting Hub. We register the source system transactions, activities which have the financial impact in the Accounting Hub to make them eligible for accounting. The create accounting rules that we configure indicate how each of the accounting events is to be accounted. We group these rules together and assign them to our ledgers to create a complete definition of the accounting treatment for the transactions and activities from the source system. Now we're going to create our source system in this spreadsheet. So we are creating this FAH loan application where we have the event class as FAH loan, as both these names will be same, and we will have three event types: loan origination 01, interest accrual 01, and the event type loan payment 01. So these three will be our event types. To give the uniqueness, I have just added that 01 to the event types. Now moving to the second sheet. So here we are seeing how we create the subledger general entries from the accounting events for loan custom application. As an example, we have taken loan custom application. So accounting events have financial accounting significance and are used as a basis for recording financial information. This figure shown describes the process to create subledger journal entries from accounting events using a custom loan application as an example. After a transaction occurs, accounting events are captured to record their accounting impact. Accounting events can be captured as transactions are generated in a source system, or they can be captured in bulk as part of a standard daily close or batch process. When accounting events are captured is based upon the flexibility of the source system and the frequency with which accounting should be created. For each eligible event, the transaction object contains contextual information about the event, such as the source values. The setup associated with the ledger use the source data for the event to create the appropriate subledger journal entry. Each accounting event can be used to create one or more subledger journal entries. Subsequently, the accounting event links the transaction to their corresponding subledger journal entries. So, if you see here, the events are loan originated, loan payment schedule, loan interest accrued, and the entries will be created for loan origination, loan payment schedule, and loan interest accrued based on these event types and the rules which we have created. Now, again, we will go to the Excel that we have downloaded. So this is the Excel we have downloaded, and for the ease of doing, I'll just copy the information from here to that sheet. I have randomly selected few of the source information which we will be uh, adding here. Like in the transaction information, I have added some basic information like account currency, account number, the bank name, the customer category, interest rate, loan officer, loan type, location, maturity date, the original balance, term of your loan, payoff date, original date. I have just added 01 to give the uniqueness. And then line in the line information, the above three will be defaulted, and I have taken conversion rate, conversion date, type, and the intercompany indicator, line description, line type, and the reference. So these are the information I have added. I'll, okay, now I'll click on validate. So validation completed successfully. If there will be any error, like if I in the name I have added a extra space after that name, loan origination 01 and then a space. So this will give you an error. Okay, then you will have to recheck it and then again validate the sheet. After that, I will generate the zip file. Okay, so this is save in this location, the location it has provided. Click on OK. Now coming to the PPT here, see, I have downloaded the spreadsheet template, then I have populated the data, I have validated it, I have generated the zip file. Now I will upload this zip file to my application. So I'll move to the application. I'll click on update, set a file. It will ask me to choose the file. Click on choose file, come to downloads. Here, this is the zip file which is compressed. Click on open, click on upload. If any error will be there, back there, the error message will be displayed. Our application name is FAH loan. FAH loan. So as you can see here, the information has come that this is imported without errors. Okay, just click on done here. So we have created a application with the name FAH loan. And while discussing, I'll also be taking a reference of this AHC loan. So first we'll see the FAH which we have created. I'll just click on this scope icon, scope option, and from here I will select my application that has been created. So the name was FAH loan. FAH loan. Just click on save and close. When you will click on save and close, this window will appear, which provides you the information of the subledger application that we have created. So you can see the options present over here. If you want to enable any of them, you can enable it from here. Here you can see the event model. If you click on this arrow, you can see the event class. This is the FAH loan. And then the event types which are created, the interest accrual, the loan origination, and the loan payment. Before understanding this further, let us understand what is the event class and the event types. Then we will verify the whole source system created. Okay, we are here. We have uploaded the zip file. Our SLA system has been configured. We will see what are XLA setup tables, and we will verify our source system. So this whole thing has been done. These two are remaining. So moving to the sheet, understanding event class, event type, sources, and the accounting attributes. Event class is created by using the register source system name. As we have seen in the FAH loan, the FAH loan has the same name as the event class, which is the FAH loan. So for example, the loan source system. Please note the Accounting Hub Cloud supports only one event class per application, unlike in on-premise where multiple classes are supported. Event types can be loan origination, loan schedule payments, and basically the types of transactions are different in their functional and operation implication. If you read the sheet, event class groups the related transaction information and attributes within a source system. So say in the loan includes the loan origination, the loan repayment, and the interest accrual. So the loan will be the event class, and the three down will be the event types. Okay. So remember, the accounting events represents the transactions that may have financial significance. For example, issuing a loan and disposing of an asset. So event types are basically the transaction types of the source system. Financial accounting information can be recorded for these events and accounted by the create accounting process. When you define the accounting events, determine from the business perspective which activities or transactions that occur in your source system may create a financial impact. Events with significantly different fiscal or operational implications are classified into different accounting types. Event types are categorized into event classes. Accounting definitions in the Event Hub Cloud are based on the event class and event type. So the base is event class and the event types. Event type must be unique within an application. Also remember, when you are thinking about the number of subledgers, the subledgers rules, the accounting rules that are shared within the application and not between your subledger applications. This means like I have two source system, the loan and the insurance. So I cannot have the same accounting rules for both of the source system. I will have to create them in the individual source system. But if I am having a loan system, then all the accounting rule created in that source system can be shared. Now, can be shared within the event types under that source system. Now, what is the sources? The sources are the key components for setting up the accounting rules. Sources represent transaction and reference information from the source systems. Contextual and reference data of transactions that are set up as source system can be used in the accounting rule definitions. When determining what sources should be available, it's helpful to bring the analysis by considering which information from our system has the accounting impact. Means if you want to determine what all sources should be available, you need to analyze the information from your source system that has the accounting impact. Like for example, uh, in the accounting, we include the transaction data, the entered currency, and the transaction amount. So these are the basic sources which is required. If we don't have this information, we cannot create the journal entries. So these are few sources. Same way we can determine the other sources. The create accounting process uses the source assigned to accounting attributes to copy values from transaction data to the subledger journal entries. For example, you may map the invoice entered currency to the subledger journal entry in entry entered currency. So there you will be getting the invoice currency when you do those mapping. Each accounting attribute is associated with a level, the header level and the line level. When the user creates the subledger entry header, then this header attribute is used. And when the line is created, the line accounting attribute is used. In addition to this, we have the transaction object. The transaction objects are referred to the tables or views from which create accounting program takes the source value to create subledger journal entries. Source values along with the accounting event identifiers are stored in the transaction objects. The create accounting program uses this information to create the subledger journal entries. So we'll move to the instance and see all this. So we have already seen what are the event class and the event types from this window. When you will click on the download template from here, it will provide you the template from where the data needs to be uploaded, which we will be seeing in the upcoming sessions. So this is the whole idea of this screen. Now I'll click on cancel here. So firstly, talking about the transaction objects, which I have covered at the last. So this is manage subledger application transaction objects. If you click on this task, you can see the object name created. ADXX XLA H FAH loan, ADXX XLA L FAH loan. This is for line and this is for header. So these are the object name which will help you in the reporting purposes. So if you see event class, it is taken as FH loan. So this is the portion here when we talk about the XLA setup tables. So these are the tables created. This will help you in fetching the data from here to the reports. If you click on view source assignments here, it will take you to the details that we have entered, the sources that we have entered in the header and the line information. You can always go to this screen by using the task manage sources. If you click on manage sources, it will also take you there only. Okay, so this is the same way of same thing, the manage source assignment there and here. So here you can also add the flex field segment name if there is any or the lookup application. If you want to display it, it will have this clicked into enable. If you just remove this. This will not be displayed. So, okay, this is the all the information that we have entered the from our spreadsheet. See if I open that. See, these were the information which is for the line. So if I see this line, this is conversion date, the conversion rate, the conversion type, all these information. Okay, then default amount, default currency, and intercompany indicator, line description, line number, line type. So all these informations are coming up in here. And if you see in the header level, we have entered the account currency, account number, then bank number. Application identifier is the by default added. Sorry. Then the bank, then customer name, customer category, uh, event ID again is by default added by the system, and then the interest rate, then the loan officer, loan type, location, and these all maturity dates, original balance, payoff dates, term, transaction date, transaction number. So these will be our sources when we will create the rules, the formulas and all. Then these all information will be useful to us, and the data which we will be uploading from that template which I have shown you, that uh, like this template. I'll come to that page again. This template, manage subledger application. This template will have the header information and the line information. There will we have to upload the data. That data, this source will pick and use in our defined rules. Okay, so this is the whole functionality. And so this is manage sources. Now, see, if you want to create and assign sources, you can always create, sorry, from here only. If you have not added something and you want to add it, so from manage sources, you can always click on this add icon and add any of the information and specify at what level you want and what is the data type. So this way you can add any information from here. Okay, so I will just put across here. Yes, I click on cancel. Now I have talked about the manage accounting attributes. We are actually verifying the source system that we have created. So this is the another thing which is very important, the accounting attribute assignments. So by default, the system creates few of the accounting attributes. See, this is the accounting attribute. Like this has been, this we have not added. This has been created by the system by its own. For now, see, the entered amount the system will take as the default amount. The default amount is coming from our source which was faded. If you remember, the default amount here is is the one which is predefined. So this default amount the system is taking as the entered amount, which is a mandatory area to be provided, and this it will take as the accounting attribute assignment. This will be then mapped in our general line rule. When I will be covering that portion, I will definitely cover this. And same way, the accounting date is taken as the transaction date. If you can see here, the transaction date is there, which is also predefined. So transaction date, the system will take as the accounting date. Then the default currency, it will take as the entered currency code, which is again from here, the predefined field. Then this line number, it is taking as the first distribution identifier, and the distribution type it is taking from this accounting event type code. So if you want to add the accounting attribute assignment, it's very simple. You can just click on add here. You have to specify, say if I create uh any formula, the user defined formula. So in the source that will be available in here. Okay. I can always take it here, then the entered amount will be computed through that formula. But always remember, when you are taking the accounting attribute as entered amount, the entered amount all is already having this as default. So this cannot be selected as default. You have to disable this, and you can have that formula in here, and then this entered amount you can link in any of your general line rule. We will see this functionality when we will be covering the general line rule. So this is how the amount will be calculated. You have to validate the assignments when you have entered any assignment. Okay, I'll click on cancel. Now, if I pick any of the already created subledger application, say AHC loan, apply and go to task. So you can see this is the AHC loan which is configured in here. It has the accounting class and event class and the event types. Okay, if I click on download template here, so you can see this is the template from where we can upload the data. This has three files. It will have the header level information. These will be the information provided. Okay, we will be covering this portion later. Just to give you an idea, I am telling you this. So this is the way we download the template from where we upload the data. And if I come to manage accounting attributes in here, so you can see apart from the one which were available as default, there are other more accounting attributes added. Okay, so see, this is entered amount, and entered amount. Three of the accounting attributes are created having three different sources, but only one is selected as default. If you will select the any other also as default, the system will give you an error. So this way we provide the accounting attribute assignments. Okay, now there is a task which we will be seeing in our upcoming session, but to give you an idea, I'll click on this configure accounting rule. Once we have configured our source system, we go to this configure accounting rules. Here you can see all the steps, all the 9 steps involved in creation of our accounting rules or the accounting transformation rules. So this is the subledger application. From here we need to select our application. Then this is the accounting method where we will map our general rule entry general entry rule set. Here we will create the general entry rule set. This is the general line rule. Okay, this is already created in the system, so I'm demonstrating it from this screen. The account rule, the mapping sets, the description rules, then the user defined formulas. All these are created using your source information and then the supporting references. So you can configure them one by one and create your own accounting method. And then you can map your method with your ledger. And once it is mapped with your ledger, you can download the template and upload the data. So This is a whole overview which we will be covering in the next two webinar sessions. So this portion we will be covering in our next session. I hope you have got an idea about the source system, how to analyze and how to upload those in the application. So this was all for the day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining.